education, giving you the guidance you need to own your future. It's not just our long history of innovative learning, it's the feeling of being surrounded by possibilities that makes us different. Now is your time. Take a big step toward your dream career and apply today at doane.edu/apply.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their sleeves to support their local communities. They treat everyone like family, no matter where you're from. Whether you walk into a branch in York, Lincoln, Norfolk, or Pierce, you know you're going to be welcomed with a smile. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
No Foreman, at least not for now. Just Foreman for a while. I'm Austin Norman. This is Old School, brought to you by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. They're a special ingredient butcher shop with, as Jay Foreman would say, every type of meat and every type of cut. I know it's still a little chilly, a little overcast, a little drizzly here in the capital city today. It's about to change. Better weather is on the way. It is just around the corner. We'll trend up for each of the next few days. We'll hit the 60s and 70s early next week. And you can welcome spring back in style with some great meat from the Mercado. I would also highly recommend you pair it with a wine from Myers Cork and Bottle, located at 13th and South Streets. They're all in different areas of town. Uncle Kevin, Myers Cork and Bottle, is more in the heart of downtown or near South Lincoln at 13th and South. The Mercado has 3 easily accessible locations, 2 of them along 84th Street, one on Havelock and one at Old Cheney. And then you also have the 30th and Yankee Hill location down south. You can also, if you're listening from Omaha, make sure you stop by your own Mercado. They have one up at 168th and Maple Streets for you. So big thanks to the Mercado for their sponsorship here of Old School, as well as On the Block. It's been a little hit, mostly miss for me in Strike the last couple days. I had about 15 or 20 minutes. It's nice to have this full hour to stretch out and chat with you all on your drive home. Anything that's on your mind, let me know. 402-464-5685. We're going to start with an upcoming game, Nebraska and UCLA in the Big Ten women's basketball tournament. Just about half an hour, 45 minutes away from tip-off of that one in Indianapolis. These two teams already played this year. The final score looks ugly. 91-54. UCLA ended up taking down Nebraska back when the Bruins were a top 5 team in the country. In fact, they still are at this point. One of the worst second half performances I think we've seen from Nebraska. Credit UCLA, right? That's a really talented team. That's a deep team, obviously led by Lauren Betts. Nebraska was tight at halftime. It was 37-30. Nebraska only down 4 after the first quarter, down another 3 after the second quarter. And then UCLA did in one quarter more than Nebraska did in the entire first half. A 31-13 third quarter for the Bruins ends up ultimately deciding the game. And just for good measure, they tack on 23 more points in the fourth, while Nebraska only scores 24 points across the final two stanzas. Pretty ugly numbers for Nebraska in this one. The leading scorer in the game ended up being Amaya Hargrove. She was 4 of 6 shooting off the bench and 4 of 6 at the free throw line on her way to 12 points. You also had Callan Hake score 9 points. Britt Prince was 3 of 10. Alexis Markowski was 1 of 8. And there's really not a bright spot for Nebraska in this one. If you really want to stretch it, you can say Nebraska had 13 assists, but that was on 19 made field goals. That is not a lot of made field goals for those of you keeping track at home. 12 steals is what Nebraska was credited on, but 20 turnovers for the Huskers, 27 personal fouls, and in an entire complete 40-minute college basketball game, Nebraska pulled down only 14 rebounds in 40 minutes. 14 rebounds in 20 minutes. I don't know how that's possible. No player on Nebraska's team had more than Britt Prince's 3 rebounds. Decent, line score for Britt Prince. I mean, only 7 points on 3 of 10 shooting and no free throw attempts isn't great, but 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals, that's not bad. On the other side for UCLA, obviously Lauren Betts was good with 21. You had Kiki Rice score 18. Those were 2 starters in double digits. Tamia Gardner, that was a player that I got to see in Corvallis last year when Nebraska went up to that little regional and defeated Texas A&M in the first round before ultimately falling to Oregon State in the round of 32. Tamia Gardner played well in that game, and then again for UCLA against the Huskers. She had 15 points on 6 of 11 shooting, also 6 rebounds and 2 assists. So it's going to be a tall test for Nebraska as they look for the second straight year to knock off some powerful programs in the Big Ten tournament, make a name for themselves, and see if they can, I'm going to say shock the world necessarily, because this is it's a talented, it's a solid Nebraska team. But it's about time for this program to win a game like this. Credit Nebraska for going on the road to Maryland and winning. That was a huge moment for this program back just a month and a half or 2 ago at this point. But I think back to last year's Big Ten tournament when Iowa has Nebraska on the ropes, Nebraska crawls back, and then Nebraska has Iowa on the ropes, and the Hawkeyes crawl back and ultimately end up winning the Big Ten championship. It's just unfortunate for Nebraska that they haven't found a way to get completely over that hump and find ways to win some of these high-profile, important games against, legitimate top, not even just top 10, but top 5 teams. It's all out there for the Huskers. Generally, they play well in stretches, but that's the difference, right? How consistent can Nebraska be for 40 minutes? It's maybe a little bit easier for this women's program against Iowa with all the familiarity that they've had with them recently. But you're not facing Iowa. You're facing UCLA. Even though it is a new blood to the conference, Nebraska's got to find a way to continue to battle its way through the Big Ten tournament. Huskers, of course, were the 10 seed. They took down 15th seeded Rutgers to start the tournament a couple days ago, and then took down number 7 seed Illinois in Indianapolis last night. So Huskers and Bruins coming up in half an hour, 45 minutes or so. We'll keep you updated on that one before more high school state basketball action. We'll go to break. Got some thoughts on the men's team to get to. Didn't get to everything I wanted to touch on with E. Strick during On the Block. So we'll go to break. When we get back, was the Iowa game the swing game for the Nebraska men's basketball season? I would love your thoughts. Was that the game that we should have seen what was coming? And what does that mean about the team that ended up being the case? 402-464-5685. We'll get into all of that and more as Old School continues on the Ticket.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. On Saturday, Nottingham Forest plays Man City at 6:30 a.m., followed by Liverpool versus Southampton at 9 a.m. On Sunday, Tottenham plays Bournemouth at 9 a.m., followed by Man United versus Arsenal at 11:30 a.m. Liverpool currently leads the standings with 67 points. You can find all this and more at McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket, your place for English Premier League soccer, located at 8th and P.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next big opportunity? Constructors is hiring. We're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. We offer competitive wages, great benefits, brand new service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for our shop and multiple field technicians. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at constructorslincoln.com.
MWA Pro Wrestling returns to Lincoln Friday night, March 7th at the First Avenue Social Hall. And in Beatrice at the Beatrice Auditorium on Saturday night, March 8th at 7 p.m. Don't miss two huge shows. Visit Facebook.com/MWA Pro Wrestling for more information. Tickets are on sale for both events. Friday night, March 7th, 7:30 p.m. First Avenue Social Hall in Lincoln. Saturday night, March 8th at the Beatrice Auditorium, 7 p.m. Brought to you by 10 Pins Fun Center, Felipe Electric, and Stone Hollow Brewing Company.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
What's going on, fans? This is Lexi Rodriguez, four-time All-American at Nebraska and now proud member of Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League One Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering us on in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action this season. Go Big Green!
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
Hi, I'm Jake from Lexington.
I'm Ellen from Ogallala.
My name's Ray from Sydney.
Hello, I'm Jenny from McCook.
Ryan from Lincoln here.
And I'm Steve from Omaha.
And we've all got one thing in common.
We all love trucks.
Which means we all want to win one of the 8th grade 2025 Ford F-150 XLT trucks in Trucks and Bucks from the Nebraska Lottery.
So I guess that means we have two things in common.
Well, I love playing Trucks and Bucks.
3 things in common.
And we're all from Nebraska.
Sounds like 4.
And I think the gray color of the trucks this year is beautiful.
5 things. Guys, I just want to go to a Nebraska Lottery retailer, buy some tickets, and start playing today.
There's 6.
I like turnips.
I guess we stop at 6.
Trucks and Bucks, your Nebraska Lottery's most popular scratch ticket is back. Top prize odds are winning $336,000. Ford F-150 is a registered trademark owned and licensed by Ford Motor Company.
Salt Mine City is not only Lincoln's newest brewery, but they're also now serving food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their peanut butter and jelly burger with bacon and cheddar cheese, or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. Don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular single-axle light American lager. Salt Mine City, now open 11 a.m. every day but Mondays at 8th and R.
Have you been injured in an accident and don't know where to turn? Do you need a lawyer you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion? The attorneys at Liberty Law Group understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you've been injured, We want to help you. Liberty Law's experienced attorneys are committed to the pursuit of justice for those injured. Contact us for a free consultation by calling 877-42-LIBERTY. Call Liberty Law and find out how we can help you get the compensation you deserve. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you can trust.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome into Old School. I'm Austin Norman. Thanks to the Mercado for their sponsorship here of the show. Hope you had a chance to check out Fired Up Fridays at their 84th and Havelock location. If not, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. There'll be another one for you next week. Starting at 11, 84th and Havelock location for the Mercado, Fired Up Fridays. Make sure you check that out. We're talking some more at Nebraska men's basketball here on the program as we fill some time before more girls state basketball action here on the ticket. Got a couple interesting responses on the text line to the question of what was the swing game for Nebraska men's basketball in the 2024-25 season. Of course, the story is still being written. Huskers host Iowa on Sunday morning into the afternoon, and if they win, they'll play in the Big Ten tournament. If they make it to the Big Ten tournament, they will be playing in some form of postseason. But let's go to the text line here. We'll start with Phil. Phil says, I don't think the Iowa game was a swing game for Nebraska. Yes, it was a devastating loss that I think led to a few more losses immediately after. But I think if it was that big of a swing game, they never would have went on the road and beat Washington and Oregon after the Iowa game. Phil has another one we'll pick up here in just a sec. I kind of like where you're headed with that, Phil. Do you think that Iowa was a swing game? You would say no, even if it might have been in the short term. For as long as a college basketball season is, 6 games is 20% of the season. So to pick some nits there, 5 more losses after that one, you could tell something changed. Something was broken about Nebraska, certainly mentally and schematically, right? It took the Huskers a while to figure out how to stop opposing teams' offenses, and it helps that Illinois kept chucking up bricks against the Huskers at PBA. But that game against Illinois came over 3 weeks after the loss on the road at Iowa. I think it's kind of easy to point back to a game where after Nebraska ended up losing that one to Iowa, that was the midway point of their season. That was game number 15 for the Huskers. And of course, that did end up jumpstarting, if you will, the 6-game losing streak for Nebraska. The 15-point lead with 15 minutes to go, you can't even say you watched it dwindle away because Iowa did what Iowa does. Is they came back with a vengeance. They shot it efficiently. They got open shots. They knocked him down. Their stars were stars. Josh Dix kept him afloat in the first half. Peyton Sandfort scored all 30 of his points after halftime for the Hawkeyes to include the second half and overtime. But I do think that you might be onto something, Phil, right? If that's the game that quote unquote broke Nebraska, how did they pick up the pieces again after that? And that's why, Fred Hoiberg's teams notoriously have that kind of early to mid-January swoon, and then they pick it up again in February, which we'll get to here in just a minute. But I do think you have a point when you say, had Nebraska, won that Iowa game, probably doesn't change much for the season, even though they lost it and maybe changed the next couple weeks. But it felt like it at the time. When you're in the thralls of the 6-game losing streak, letting a 15-point lead with 15 minutes to go slip away certainly doesn't feel good. Let's go to Phil's next text. He says, there's something else inexplicable going on with this team. I just don't understand how they can come out in so many games unmotivated and disinterested in digging themselves into big holes, sometimes battling back, but most of the time it's too big of a deficit to crawl out of. This is a conversation Strick and I have had a little bit, and that Fred Hoiberg and his staff have dove into that same question as well, is how do you get more consistent at the beginning of games? How do you tap into the energy, get the battery, powered up, all the way charged to go from the get-go? I think on the one hand, there's a very simple coaching move that seems like it would help Nebraska, and that's play its best lineup. Over the last couple of weeks, Nebraska's best lineup has been Sam Hoiberg, Connor Essegian, Bryce Williams, Juwan Gary, and Andrew Morgan. Let's try starting the game with that lineup. How about that? When Nebraska starts the game with two bigs on the floor, it is not very good. It is not very good because the player movement isn't the same. The athleticism isn't the same. The skill on the floor is not the same. I love the idea of Berke Buickengel starting at the 5 for this team in the rink master role. I don't think that's necessarily how Nebraska sees him based on what I've seen for how they use him. And he's just bad right now. Still working his way back into shape from the sprained ankle that he suffered at the end of Nebraska's win over Ohio State. So Berke's got to come off the bench at this point, right? Braxton Mia is going to be a situational type of matchup. I don't know if we see very much Braxton Mia against Iowa. I would be shocked if he got hit with the DNP again, but I don't think it's necessarily a Braxton Mia type of game. But Nebraska's offense does not look nearly as good with two bigs on the floor, especially if those bigs aren't shooting it. If Berke Buickengel is going to shoot 35% from 3, maybe you can get away with it. But when he's 1 of 18 since coming back from a sprained ankle, it's untenable. The ball sticks. They rely too much on Bryce Williams in those settings sometimes, which is why I think Nebraska needs to go with the lineup that made the comeback against Minnesota and played the bulk of the second half and overtime until fouls against Ohio State. Right now, Nebraska's best lineup is Sam Hoiberg, Connor Sejan, Bryce Williams, Jawan Gary, and Andrew Morgan. Start that group and see what happens. If that group doesn't come out with energy, that group doesn't come out and play well, I would say, okay, Fred Hoiberg, you tried something, right? You went with the group that got you there. I can understand why you did what it was that you did. But if Nebraska starts two bigs again against an Iowa team that's not that big, I get it. Nebraska wants an identity, but I don't think Nebraska can continue to lean into this too big identity unless one of them has credible floor spacing and playmaking abilities, which right now, I'm sorry, Berke Buickengel does not. He's still a theory. There's a theory of Berke Buickengel, what this program and this coaching staff wants him to be, but that's not what he is right now. He can be that for stretches. He can be that at times, but Berke Buickengel is not dependable. And I know Fred Hoiberg has said, well, according to the analytics, our defense is best when Berke's out on the floor. I'm sure that's true. But holy cow, man, he's hurting you right now. Berke's got to be spot minutes relieving Andrew Morgan. I just think Nebraska's flow is so much better. The roles are so much more clearly defined when there is only one big on the court. It still baffles me that Nebraska continues to go back to two big lineups very frequently. I get it against Michigan. I do understand it against Michigan. But you can lean into your identity and want to be good on the glass and good defensively, but you can't sacrifice as much offense and as much flow as it seems like Nebraska has at times this year. So I think a good way for Nebraska to start fast is to play one big as often as they can possibly help it, to spread the floor and to help the flow. When it comes to the second point of Phil's text, unmotivated, disinterested, digging themselves into big holes, sometimes battling back. I think at this point, that's just the character, the nature, the personality of this team this season, right? I don't know any of these guys personally. I don't know what's going on with them off the floor in their minds, but holy cow, at some point, don't you have to show some pride and not allow this to happen? We know that Nebraska at its best can be a dangerous basketball team. We've seen it. They tied a school record for number of ranked wins. They played a St. Mary's team that's an NCAA tournament lock, West Coast Conference champs are soon to be, really tight up in Sioux Falls. We know when things are clicking for Nebraska, they can be a good team. Now, I would quibble and say the ceiling isn't necessarily an exorbitant one. As Michael Jordan might say, the ceiling is the roof. The ceiling isn't Nebraska shooting for the moon or the stars, right? Nebraska has a pretty defined ceiling, but I think that ceiling is dragged even lower by just how low Nebraska's floor is. 46 points against Michigan. The way Nebraska finishes at the rim, Nebraska, I know some people have complained about Nebraska's shot selection, but Nebraska doesn't take an average number of threes. Nebraska attempts three-pointers at a below average rate for the sport of college basketball. Nebraska's floor is desperately, tragically low. And I mentioned this a little bit yesterday. That's what's really holding Nebraska's resume back, more so than top-end wins, is when the floor bottoms out, it bottoms out. And let's circle back around, right, to where we started this segment when talking about Iowa as a swing game. There's no way Iowa should be a game that we point to as a swing game. It can't be. It was the first game of a losing streak that you didn't know was going to turn into a losing streak. It's a game that hurts. That is a gut punch. That is a kick to the nards. Whatever you want to describe it as, I will probably agree with you. And then going to Purdue just a few days later, that's wildly unfortunate by the scheduling, because Nebraska has still never won in Mackey Arena. That place is hostile. I underrated Purdue. They are still a good team. I was disappointed by the way Nebraska showed up in that one, but you know what? Human nature. It happens. You move on. You get a home game against Rutgers, who was struggling a little bit at that time. I'm going to try to pull up Rutgers' record as of the Nebraska game. So as of January 16th, Rutgers was 9-8. Nebraska was 12-4. That's a 500 Rutgers team, but here's the caveat. 2 of the best players in the conference, 2 of the best players in the country. Okay, so Nebraska should have won that game. Nebraska had every opportunity to win that game against Rutgers, except this is where we saw a roster limitation. They didn't have anyone for Dylan Harper. They especially didn't have anyone for Ace Bailey. The 2 best players on the court that night played for the other team. It stinks that that game was at home, but guess what? Those games happen sometimes. So now you're on a 3-game losing streak. Okay, then you go to Maryland. Again, surprisingly good year for them. I was not necessarily sold on Maryland to this degree. Thought they'd be good, thought they would be bubbly, but Maryland's exceeded my expectations pretty well. And yet, Nebraska's competing. Nebraska's hanging in there. In a game they lose by 3 points, losing the best shooter in the gym at the end of the first half could have been the difference. And then Nebraska gets down by double digits or 9 or double digits, mid to late second half. And number one, credit to the Huskers for finding a way to fight back and make that an interesting game at the end and give themselves a chance. But it was just too little, just too late. The game that I would point to as the turning point for Nebraska season, the way that things went off the rails, was not finding a way to beat USC. USC is in a very similar spot to Nebraska. A couple games worse overall, but in a very similar, if not the exact same position in terms of conference record. Desmond Claude is a good basketball player. Chibuzo Agbo, good basketball player. Wesley Yates, good basketball player. But you got beat by Rashawn Agee, of all people. Yeah, you still don't know who Rashawn Agee is. You still don't know who he is. He had a career night against you. Okay, that happens. But Nebraska, again, down the stretch, didn't learn from Iowa, didn't learn from Rutgers, and continued to let the other team's best player take over when the game mattered most. Nebraska not having an answer for Desmond Claude lost them that game. And Nebraska didn't throw anything too crazy different schematically at him to switch it up. It was, hey, let's just let, Desmond Claude cook. That was Eric Musselman's game plan. And Nebraska lost at 78-73. It was tight, but that's a game that Nebraska had every opportunity to win. And in conference play, you need those coin flip games to go your way if you want to be taken seriously as not just a conference contender, but even just an NCAA tournament bubble contender. If Nebraska wins USC, even if they turn around and get smacked by Wisconsin on the road, again, another team that I was low on, credit the Badgers for being better, but Nebraska didn't necessarily put its best foot forward in the Kohl Center. But if Nebraska beats USC, how differently are we talking about this team right now? I don't know. I just feel like if you can stop a losing streak at 4, which, by the way, that's where Nebraska's at right now heading into Iowa, their second 4+ game losing streak of the season. If Nebraska beats USC, does Sunday at Wisconsin go any different? Probably not. But then you rattle off 4 wins in a row after that. What if you'd won 5 of your last 6, instead of losing 6 in a row? How different is the conversation at that point? And then after the 6-game losing streak, of course, you rattle off 4 straight wins if you're Nebraska. Drop another tight one to Maryland where the Terps were just a little bit better pretty much all game long. But okay, that's a top 25 team that's playing even better than that at the time. And then you go to Northwestern and you super get bailed out. And then you can't bail yourself out against Penn State, and we know the rest from there. A few more texts to get to here. 2553 says, I should have texted this on Monday. Saw a player out and about the day before the Michigan game. Sorry, I don't know what to say for that. Not a lot of people played well in the Michigan game, so I'm not gonna put that game on one player. Tater, appreciate your thoughts chiming in here as part of the conversation. And then 8804, this is interesting, says if 8804 had to pick a swing game for this year, he would pick the Creighton game. I think after they thoroughly dominated that team so early in the season, he thinks it made them a little bulletproof, and they didn't necessarily put the effort they should have into all their other games. That's one that it's an interesting take. Of course, on the road in a rivalry game at number 14 Creighton at the time, Nebraska leads that one wire to wire, essentially against Creighton. They win it 74-63. It's not like Nebraska played that poorly after that, right? They blow out South Dakota in a game that's probably a little closer than not as close as the final score indicates. Put 103 on North Florida, who, let's not forget at the time, had taken down South Carolina and Georgia Tech, a couple power conference teams in their home gyms. Nebraska avoided that trap. You lose on the road to Michigan State in disappointing performance, but hey, Sparty just wrapped up the Big Ten title. Credit to them for that. And then you turn around and beat Indiana, a team that's in, again, a very similar position to Nebraska. I liked Indiana's talent. I thought Nebraska would find a way to win it at home, and they did. And then after that, they go out to Hawaii and win that tournament. They beat Southern and they beat UCLA. So things were looking really good for Nebraska at 12-2. And then the Iowa game hit. I get what you're saying there, 8804 against Creighton to that point. But I think that's somewhat refuted unless you're going to say, well, Nebraska thought it could turn up the energy in big games. Well, Nebraska didn't necessarily do that, and Nebraska hasn't treated very many games like big games recently, and that's why the Huskers are in the position that they're in. Good stuff there. Appreciate your thoughts on the Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. We're going to go to break. When we get back, the gals from the Upside Bar and Lounge are in studio with me. We'll ask them about Bartender, how that went for them over Valentine's Day, what they have coming up for St. Patrick's Day here in about 10 days, and everything else you can do down at the Upside. More Old School right after this.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: rain and snow showers likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy too, with an afternoon high near 39. Tonight, decreasing cloud cover, with a low around 23. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds, an afternoon high near 51. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
There's no place like McKinney's Irish Pub for St. Patrick's Day, so mark your calendars to join in on the fun for their 11th annual Street Festival. The party starts on Saturday, March 15th, with tons of giveaways, a kilt contest, great Irish food, and green beer, and continues on Monday the 17th for actual St. Patrick's Day. Doors open for the bar at 11 a.m. on Saturday and 9 a.m. on Monday, and the street party starts at 2 p.m. both days. Don't miss out on great music and great fun with no cover charge for St. Patrick's Day weekend at McKinney's 8th and P in the Haymarket.
Spring is here. It's time to get back outside and into proper shoes this year. Brown Shoe Fit is the place to buy this spring with their sale on athletic shoes. Get $15 off any regular price athletic shoes with respected brands like Hoka, Brooks, New Balance, and On Running. And don't forget, Browns carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your spring off right at Brown Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
What's your radon level at home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating, 467-1111 for radon testing and mitigation.
MWA Pro Wrestling returns to Lincoln Friday night, March 7th at the First Avenue Social Hall, and in Beatrice at the Beatrice Auditorium on Saturday night, March 8th at 7 p.m. Don't miss two huge shows. Visit Facebook.com/MWA Pro Wrestling for more information. Tickets are on sale for both events. Friday night, March 7th, 7:30 p.m. First Avenue Social Hall in Lincoln. Saturday night, March 8th at the Beatrice Auditorium, 7 p.m. Brought to you by 10 Pins Fun Center, Felipe Electric, and Stone Hollow Brewing Company.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today: rain and snow showers likely throughout the day. It'll be breezy too with an afternoon high near 39. Tonight, decreasing cloud cover, a low around 23. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies with light winds, an afternoon high near 51. I'm meteorologist Kyle Clucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey volleyball fans, this is Laura Dijkema, National Player of the Netherlands, and now the setter on Omaha's newest professional team, Love Omaha Volleyball. League Volleyball is bringing the heat this year. Don't miss your chance to see Olympians, national players, and national champions right here in Omaha from now through April. We can't wait to see you cheering for us in the stands. Visit lovboma.com to buy single match tickets to see me and Love Omaha Volleyball in action. Go Big Green!
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in to Old School here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. I'm Austin Norman. Still no Jay Foreman. He's prepping for some more Nebraska high school girls state basketball tournament. That's okay. Hannah Friend, the Upside, is in it with us, telling us all about what's going on down there at 28th and Pine Lake. Hannah, how's it going?
I am wonderful. Thank you. And yourself?
Doing well. I do have to know, last time we had you guys on, you were getting ready for bartender.
Yes.
Valentine's Day. How was that?
It was so much fun, honestly. And I was just hosting and I had a grand time. So I'm pretty sure everybody that participated also enjoyed it a lot. We had a little bit of success there, I think. I know at least one couple that made a connection there is still going out, and we had the big winners and they came to pick up those gift cards that we had for them, and they had a great night as well. But yeah, we hope to keep trying again in the future and hosting more events like that.
Maybe make it just quarterly. Who needs Valentine's Day? Just every 3 months. I don't know.
Absolutely.
People are always looking for love.
You're right. It's not just around Valentine's Day. Everybody's looking for love.
Now, of course, we're turning the corner just about 10 days away from St. Patrick's Day. I noticed you're wearing green. Is that thematic? Is that part of the reason?
You're like the fourth person to say that to me, and it was unintentional, but you know what? We're going to go with it.
What's going on at the Upside for St. Patty's Day?
Oh my goodness. We have
what isn't going on? How about that?
What isn't going on? Well, that would be nothing, actually. Well, tonight we've got karaoke, which we've been doing a lot more lately just because everybody loves it so much. They've been requesting it more often. So we have that tonight. Tomorrow we've got the fights. But as for our St. Patty stuff, we've got Irish themed music bingo. We do music bingo every Tuesday, but this upcoming Tuesday, March 11th, it's going to be Irish themed. And then next weekend is going to be a great and busy weekend. On the 14th, we're going to have 2 bands, Out of the House Irish Band and Welcome Hunters Band. Last year was the first year that we started doing live music in there. And honestly, that was one of the best decisions we could have done, because who doesn't love live music?
Seriously, though.
Right? Some drinks and live music.
Drinks, yeah.
Irish music and some Irish cocktails. What could go wrong?
What sorts of Irish cocktails are we talking about? Do you have some of the menu planned out?
Oh, we do.
Oh,
we
fill us
have,
in.
yes. So we have a little, we call it the, I think it's the Tipsy Leprechaun.
Okay.
Pop-up
where that's
bar right
headed.
now. Yes. So it was kind of like our Christmas pop-up, where it was like in your face, vomit, St. Patty's Day. So
Yes.
that's what we did. It looks great in there. And we have our Tipsy Clover drinks as well. Oh, that's what it's called, the Tipsy Clover
Okay.
pop-up. But yeah, so I brought you some today to try as
Ooh.
well.
What am I
So,
starting with?
I'm gonna start you off with, oh my gosh, let me figure out what it's called. It's like a sour. Oh, the
Ooh.
Shamrock Sour.
Shamrock Sour. Okay.
Give her a little stir there.
Oh, that I have not seen a more green drink in my life.
Yes, all
that
of
is
our drinks are
incredible.
green as well.
Wow.
So
Like, I wish I could show the camera just how green this. I'm sure I'll be able to see it like on my top lip or something here.
and that's your traditional whiskey sour, and then we've got the egg white in there too, which
Ooh, okay.
the egg white is my favorite when it comes to whiskey sours.
I've never had a whiskey sour in my life.
What?
This is the first one I've ever had.
Oh my gosh.
Much greener than I was expecting. That's pretty darn good.
Right?
That's pretty good.
It's not super sweet if you're not a huge fan of those kind of drinks, but yeah, the egg white.
The egg white surprises me. I would never have guessed that was in there.
Right? Yeah, no, it's
Wow.
great. Adds a really smooth, creamy element to it.
That it does. And
it
again, I
helps
wish
with
y'all
the
could see
bite.
just how green this is. but
Yeah, it's so green.
That is awesome.
In your face for sure.
And the other one is.
This one, yeah, the other one is just as green, so be
Ooh,
prepared.
nice.
This one is the Kiss Me I'm Irish Teeny.
Okay.
And this one's really sweet.
This is also very green. But they're two very, they're the
They're
same
different
green, but they're different greens. Like, the egg white makes this one, like, more, I don't even know.
It's kind of a muted green, softer.
Yeah, more pastel, maybe.
Yes, that one's the food color. That one has food coloring. So a lot of the drinks will have that. The Kiss Me I'm Irish Teeny, that has green creme de menthe. So that's why it's got that really bright.
Oh, and you can tell.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Right?
Oh my
Real
gosh.
sweet, creamy.
Sweet, creamy. You get just enough of the mint, but it's not overpowering.
Right. And I know like mint can be kind of it's hit or miss with a lot of people, but I think overall everyone could like that drink.
I get big York peppermint patty vibes from that.
Okay, that's
what I
perfect.
get.
That's perfect. That's what we're going for.
Slightly more natural mint. So it's not like that completely fake mint.
Artificial.
Not
yeah.
entirely, but enough of like the fresh. That's good.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
Good.
I was
Heck
really
yes.
excited about the third cup, but apparently that was just ice.
Oh yeah,
so.
it's just ice. I know. I'm sorry.
It's
you
all right.
were really excited.
I know it's usually just 2, so I thought, 3. What did I get myself into today? But 2 green drinks, both fantastic. The Tipsy Clover.
Tipsy Clover. Yeah.
Whiskey sour.
Yep.
And the Kiss Me I'm Irish Teeny. So
yes.
highly recommend there for St. Patty's Day. Is that going on now, or are you waiting and you saving those?
No, we've had all of this stuff out, the decorations, the drinks, and our Irish food menu as well has all been out since March 1st. And it will go through St. Patty's Day.
Nice.
As well, so.
That is Monday the 17th. And you did mention the fights as well. Fill people in on your normal deal for UFC fights.
Yeah, so we always get a pretty good crowd in, so we do recommend coming in a little bit earlier. The prelims start at 7, and then the main event, it always kind of depends on how fast we get through those prelims. But yes, our kitchen will be open all night. We make sure to do that so we can keep you guys drinking, having a good time.
Responsibly.
Yes,
generally.
Responsibly, of course. We do want you guys to have a good time, though. And then, there's no cover for it. We've got, I think, 7 TVs. So anywhere you sit in the bar, you're going to have a great view of the fights. We're going to be fully staffed, so you're going to have top-notch service as per usual. But
so
yeah,
people expect.
Yes, of course. And then, as well as our just regular kitchen, our regular food menu, we'll have the Irish food menu open for that as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot.
It is a lot.
And don't worry, we have March Madness for the next 3 weekends after that. So.
I thought I was going to get a breather, and I was sorely mistaken.
Mid-April to May, You'll get there.
Yes. I just
Survive.
got to make it through then.
One drink at a time, Hannah. One drink at a time. Can you do it?
I think so. I think so.
We will be praying for you. We will be rooting for you. Go check out the Upside Bar and Lounge at 28th and Pine Lake. Hannah, always great to see you. Thanks a ton for coming in.
Yes, thank you.
We'll go to break about 10 more minutes here of Old School before you're back out at PBA for Girls State Tournament action. More after this.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Stocking all the top brands, including Can-Am, Honda, Polaris, Kawasaki, CF Moto, Suzuki, Yamaha, Sea-Doo, Manitow pontoon boats, and Triton trailers. Come check out Nebraska's newest Indian motorcycle dealership, plus score big on their massive selection of side-by-sides, all-terrain vehicles, motorcycles, and power watercraft. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has it all under one roof at their new 27th and I-80 location, and they can't wait to get you set up for the summer.
You know you want those Wingstop boneless wings. With the boneless meal deal from Wingstop, you get 20 boneless wings in 4 delicious flavors and a large order of hand-cut fries for just $16.99. What are you waiting for? More wings, more flavor, more bang for your buck. The $16.99 boneless meal deal from Wingstop. Order now from wingstop.com. Valid at participating locations for a limited time on orders for pickup or delivery placed via wingstop.com or the Wingstop app. Prices may vary by location. See wingstop.com/offers for full details.
High school basketball fans, take a trip over to the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame while you're in town for state hoops. Admission is free, and it's a great way to learn about some of the greatest athletes and teams to come out of the state, from recently to over 100 years ago in all sports. Learn more about names like Gale Sayers, Johnny Rogers, Bob Gibson, Tom Osborne, and more. Open Wednesday through Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. It's the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, just north of Haymarket Park at 500 Charleston Street.
Hey, bestie. Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
When you or a loved one hears the words, "you have cancer," you want to make sure you're surrounded by a team you can trust, who will be a true partner in your cancer journey. At NHO, you'll be treated like family, and you'll feel that compassion every time you walk through our doors. After all, this is the fight of your life, and you'll need the best people to be on your side. We're Nebraska Hematology Oncology. On your side, by your side.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call today at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
At Doane University, we build leaders, and that means your success and achievements come first.
At Doane University, your future is uniquely yours, and our world-class liberal arts education is just the beginning.
We invite you to schedule your campus visit and experience why Doane University will start you on your journey to your future career.
Learn more by scheduling your personal campus visit today at doane.edu/visit. See you soon.
Back to old school on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Thanks to Hannah from the Upside Bar and Lounge for coming in and telling us all about everything going on down there at the bar, including their St. Patrick's Day stuff that is live now through Monday, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Really appreciate her and the staff at Upside for everything they do for us and you guys all the way down there at 28th and Pine Lake. Big thanks to the Mercado for their sponsorship here of Old School. Just a few minutes left here. We're headed to our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Steven says Austin should be thrilled for the Milford Lady Eagles' success. How about that? How about Milford? Shout out to them. They end up winning again today. They take down Minden to advance to the Class C1 state championship game. I am happy for Milford's success so far. Only one thing would make me happier than a Milford win today, and that is a Milford win tomorrow. They got Lincoln Christian. I'm a Lincoln Lutheran person, Lincoln Lutheran alum, proud of the Warriors, proud of my school, actively rooting against Lincoln Christian. It's nothing personal, it's just business, except it's also kind of personal. So shout out Milford. Come on, Purple Eagles, do the dang thing. Take down the Crusaders tomorrow. No, I'm not going to root for the city, just like no, I'm not going to root for the conference. You can't make me. Conference rooting is dumb. It is very dumb. I am not about it. I'm not about to do it. I am not going to root for other teams in the Big Ten Conference. I do not necessarily want to see them have success. I'm also not going to root for city teams just for the sake of being city teams. If you are a good team, if you are good people, if you are fun, I will root for you. If you are not, I will root against you. So big shout out to Milford. Hope they are able to get the dang thing done tomorrow at 11 o'clock. That'll be the second game of the morning. We'll have a Class D1 leading things off. No, sorry, it'll be Class D. Yeah, it should be D1. Yeah, D1 leading things off at 9, C1 at 11, and then Class A at 1 for the first session of championship games tomorrow. And then we will flip it to Class C2, and then Class B at 6:15, and Class D2 at 8:15. You've heard every game at Pinnacle Bank Arena right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. That will continue through tomorrow. And, of course, that will continue into next week as well when the Boys State Tournament takes over the airwaves Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It has been a busy week. It has been a great week. I really appreciate the work that Nick and Jay are putting in, bringing you all the games from down there at the Vault. They're doing a great job, and we're about to send it right back out to them. Thanks again to Hannah for stopping in. Thanks to the Mercado for their sponsorship of Old School. Thanks to you for chiming in on our Sartor Heyman Jewelers text line. Ham and beans, I am also not necessarily against what you're saying there. I can get on board with that. Thanks to Sartor Heyman Jewelers for the text line as well as our video streams. You can listen to the games on those streams as well. And Allo Channel 961, they provide us with that channel on their cable package as well as our VIP line. For the crew back here in the studio, I'm Austin signing off for now. Don't go anywhere. We got some more state tournament action from Pinnacle Bank Arena coming your way momentarily.
It may not feel like it, but planting season is on its way, and now's the time to upgrade your equipment with a late model John Deere planter from Acres Equipment. Acres has an entire lineup of John Deere planters equipped with the latest technology to ensure planting accuracy